All right, we're talking with Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills, but also the founder of Silver Scream Con, which is coming to the DCU Center here in Worcester. Spencer, I'm so excited that this will now be 5 minutes away from my house. I'm very excited about this. Why did you bring it from Danvers to Worcester?
Well, Danvers has been absolutely great the last couple of years, but the truth of the matter is our following and the following of this convention has sort of outgrown the capacity of that venue that we had, and so it's it's a little bit bittersweet because we like doing it at that place in Danvers. They were great, they were very accommodating, but the numbers that came in last year, it was clear to us that we needed to expand, and what better place to do it than Worcester and the DCU Center and the Palladium, where I really fell in love with conventions to begin with, because that's when I first went to a convention ever, which of course was Rock and Shock. I couldn't be more excited to bring it to that area where my love of horror conventions really began.
That's cool that that was your first horror convention. Rock and Shock was great. Rock and Shock had the convention during the day. They had music up the street at the Palladium at night. Are you going to do that same format, or do you have something different? Is live music still going to be involved?
Live music is definitely still going to be involved. Some of those details are still being worked out, so I can't speak to the exact details. But rest assured, there will be an Ice Nine Kills concert in that area on Saturday night. We can't really say which venue yet, but I think you'll be pleased. Let's leave it at that. It's not going to be too far of a commute
Good.
from the convention center to the venue.
Good. Got to keep it in Wormtown, man. Also, I know you haven't announced any guests yet. Have you got? Are you able to announce any guests at all?
We can't yet, but rest assured, we have a ton of amazing guests, and I think this is going to be the best year we've done. There's going to be some holy cow kind of moments for some people, and me, just being a fan of these movies. There's some of those moments for me, like, oh my God, I can't believe we got that person. I admire them so much, and I'm so excited we have so long to plan, because as this is its third year in existence, we've sort of it's a well-oiled machine, and now we can start planning. We started planning it the day after the last one ended. We were already going to check out the venue in Worcester literally the next day. So it's great that it keeps building, and now we seem to know what we're doing.
So I was reading an article that Craig Seaman did. He did it for Worcester Magazine. You had mentioned some anniversaries of some films, and that may coincide with guests. Can you give us a little clue as to maybe what movies, or is that giving too much away?
I think it's given a little too much away. I don't want to let the black cat out of the bag, so to speak.
Right.
But
Okay.
you grab yourself a calendar and look at 2024 and start doing the math. There are no 23rd or 37th year anniversaries. We don't do those. Everyone sticks to the 20, 25, 30, 35. So all you listeners, use your imaginations. All you horror fans, I think you'll be able to put some ideas together of what's in store for Silver Scream Con 3.
Yeah, and if anybody wonders about the kind of guests, just look at the past two. I mean, you've had some phenomenal guests there. So, and if it's just getting bigger and better, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and it's great. We have some returning guests from the original year. That's something I could give away. It's just crazy for us to be working with these people that I grew up being scared of, and now they're my friends. That's an odd thing. You don't grow up with too many people that you're frightened of or that you think is under your bed, and then 30 years later, 40 years later, say, oh, hey, Spencer, good to see you again.
And also, you got the whole horror flea market thing going. I always tell people, and I always talked about this with Rock and Shock, is that this is a great time to go if you're getting some kind of Halloween costume together, or you don't know. This is a great place to go and take and poke around and see if you can get some good stuff going for Halloween, right?
No, absolutely, and you have 3 days to do it. So if you want to be like Barbara Streisand and do a bunch of wardrobe changes, we welcome that. I saw some incredible costumes last year. Really amazing cosplay level stuff with a lot of attention to detail. So that's sort of one of my favorite parts, walking around, seeing what everyone's dressed as, and then, culminates with the costume contest that we have every year.
So let's talk just a little bit about Ice Nine Kills. How's the Metallica experience going?
Anytime anyone mentions it when I'm doing an interview, I'm not BSing here. I get chills because it takes me back to when I first saw Metallica, which was, I guess it would have been the Fleet Center in '97. And it just switched over from the Garden a few years before, I think. And I remember that concert so vividly. My dad took me to it. They were, if memory serves, I think they were on the Load or the Reload album cycle, and it feels like that concert was a week ago. I remember, like, the way that Lars came out over, onto the stage, and he was drinking a beer, and they had this like pyrotechnic kind of like accident, but it was part of the show. Like one of the crew members, like I remember, like fell down and was hung by his like feet by like a wire, and everyone's like, "Oh my God!" But it turned out it was all part of the show. They were one of those seminal bands for me. They made me, along with Nirvana, want to learn how to play guitar riffs. And so when we got that call to be on a few shows at first, back in 2022, getting that call a few months later, hey, do you want to do the whole world tour with us? I mean, yeah, for someone who grew up on that kind of music, and Metallica being the pinnacle of that, it's such an honor, and I still have to kind of pinch myself every time we show up at one of those stadiums and realize, I'm not just going to see them. We're on the show, and
Right.
they've been so nice to us. They come into the locker room and say what's up to us, and they're really sort of showing us the way of how, when you're coming up, you take the bands out that you think are cool, and you treat them great. And we've learned a lot from them, and we can't thank them enough. And also thank all of their crew and their whole team. They've just been so accommodating. And also thank you to our fans who keep coming out to those shows to see us play with Metallica. I see so many ink shirts in that crowd, so it's just a huge honor.
Well, I was really amazed and excited that you guys are on that. Can't wait to see you guys in August when when you're playing Gillette Stadium. How awesome is that?
It's mind-boggling. That's a place I've been going to since I was a little kid. Not just sporting wise, but the second iteration of Spooky World was there.
Right.
And obviously, Spooky World, the original especially, was so influential to the band. That was the first time I had ever seen anything like that. Ever been able to meet a celebrity from a horror movie. I remember I met Kane Hodder, who played Jason, and George P. Wilbur, who played Michael Myers in Part 6. And I still have my signed Jason mask from that very night. So to be now, playing in a venue where Spooky World was housed for a number of years, it's all that sort of full circle moment for me, being a kid from Massachusetts.
And you had the Spooky World documentary. Is that something you may be showing at Silver Scream Con?
I know that we had the owner and the producer and director of the film at the last Silver Scream Con, and they did a whole panel, and there were a lot of old school Spooky World fans in the audience. So maybe we'll get a screening of it this year. That'd be amazing.
It'll be spooktacular, Spencer.
It will be absolutely spectacular, and the documentary is really amazing. Obviously, I'm in it, but I'm not biased because I had nothing to do with it until they came to me and asked for an interview. But it really is a great documentary, and I urge people when it is released to check it out, because it really takes you back. If you have that nostalgia for the first Spooky World, it really takes you right back to the park.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I'm so glad Silver Scream Con 3 is going to be at the DCU Center and appropriately on Friday the 13th weekend in September. And the tickets are on sale now, right? They went on last Friday?
They are on sale right now. I believe all the VIP tickets are sold out, but there's
Wow.
still plenty of great general admission tickets, and it's going to be amazing.
Hey, I had this idea, and I'm not getting on your case like I always do about when you didn't bring me a roast beef sandwich when we worked at the
No.
old WAAF, and I had to steal Carrie's.
We'll always bring this up. I'm never going to live this down.
No. I had an idea. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with the North Shore Beefs Facebook group.
I am, and I'm familiar with the Instagram. I don't know if it's run by the same guys, but
Yeah.
it's some funny material.
Yeah, Andy Ferg. So one of their ratings, you know, a true North Shore beef, really, you have to have a lot of James River barbecue sauce on there to have it be a true North Shore beef. One of their ratings for that is the best rating you could give it is a murder scene. That's the term for it. So I don't know. Maybe we could have a little North Shore beef judging going on at Silver Scream Con and see who has the best murder scene.
I think that's very, very on brand for us.
Yes.
And I am aware that they use that terminology, and I was very excited about it. I think I want to open my own killer beef shop up at some point. So
That
look
would be
out for
awesome. That would be awesome. Well, Spencer Charnas, Ice 9 Kills and Silver Scream Con 3, thank you very much for taking the time today. We are so much looking forward to having that here in Worcester.
Absolutely, man. Always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing you there with the roast beef in hand.
Awesome.